Hello everyone, my name is Straw Hat Pecan, and we have a ton of new updates and releases for the One Piece trading card game, especially with the premium booster and the second anniversary set that I'm very excited to talk about. Firstly, we've got the premium booster pack. We know this is coming out late July in Japan over in the East, so we're going to be seeing a lot of this being opened. I'm very excited about. I believe we're getting this around November for us over here in the West, so a bit down the line, closer to set 8 or 9 probably for us. But we've got a lot of cards revealed, and they are just amazing artwork that I want to go over. We know in this set it's going to be a lot of reprints, a lot of cards that we've seen before, which is great for new players because the more reprints of some of these cards that are harder to get, still in the meta, means that some of the cheaper options will become even cheaper because there's more options for us to get. And us who have been playing the game for a while have new opportunities to get cool looking cards to collect, which are just, again, amazing artwork. So as a quick overview, here we have the difference in some of the types of foiling and artwork we're going to see. Of course, we have the regular just base art edition of some of these cards, as you can see on the left with the Tony Chopper, or the new Vivi Don, which I'm very excited about. You know, I've been playing Vivi since set 4, off and on. Love to see it. Got to add it to my deck, of course. Then we have the pattern card. So it is a foil, not full art, but just, again, another addition to your collection, another variety of the same card. And then we have the full art. So 3 different editions of some of these cards in one reprint means that if you want to just get these cards to play with in your deck, it's going to be a lot easier just to get the base art for that purpose. Now, even the Don is continuing with the 3 different varieties, stages of Hollow's base, the Hollow, and then the full art, the different gold border Hollow, I believe, for the Don. So it is going to be insane trying to collect all of these. There is a lot in this one set. So if you're somebody who wants to collect every one of the Don, especially in the gold border parallel, it's going to take you a bit. But man, oh man, just the variety. I love the Law Don. It's just so good. Now, to give some more alt arts that we've seen, we've got a lot of great cards reprinted here. We've got the 10-drop Dofi. We've got another Otama, Baby 5, Shirahoshi, the Luffy, the Boa Hancock, Katakuri, which is a big one, a card that's still very expensive to get, which a lot of yellow decks still use. I know Enel comes back in set 7 pretty heavily in the meta as one of the yellow decks with the 10 cost Ace. Katakuri still a good card to run in the deck and still very expensive for being a secret rare. In fact, as of today, it is still about $40, $46. I think maybe, honestly, this dip, we could see people seeing these reprints already trying to panic sell, get away with their copies. It was above 50 or 60, as we can see from some of these more recent sales. Might see this take a dip as, you know, news of these reprints. We already saw with some of the original sets, OPO1, OPO2, 3, their box prices dipped a bit. I just went over that in another video, but just seeing the reprints affect the prices so much, it's a bit of an interesting take for the market. I don't know, but still, again, a very expensive card. $160 if you need a play set at a bit over 40 each is kind of crazy. So seeing a reprint might help a little bit, especially, again, if you're a new player and you just want to try out some of these decks. It's just almost impossible to justify dropping that much money on one playset of a card for a deck that you don't even know if you're going to love. You know, that's why I always advise trying stuff out in the sim, at least, maybe seeing if you can borrow cards from somebody. But hey, these reprints might help with that. We've got Beige, the Kaido, Kuzan, looking great, Sanji Pilaf, I believe, another Otama. Again, just another picture of the Don. It looks so good in this gold border. It's just so good. I love it. I can see this being a very expensive piece to collect. However, we do know that there's been rumors of Bandai lifting restrictions on Other language is Don, because really a Don card's a Don card. If you know what a Don card does, it's not, you don't have to look up a translation to really know that it adds 1k power. So if we do get that official ruling on being able to use other languages Don cards in any kind of official tournament, that could mean it might be a little bit easier to pick this up. If you're looking at prices already, you know, any Japanese Don is a lot less expensive if you're looking at the Straw Hat Don, trying to collect those. So that might help out. By the time we get this, who knows if that ruling will be in effect or not. Next, we've got a card that I'm very excited about. The only leader from the premium booster set, Sanji, a 5 life, 5k power leader, mono red. His effect reads, activate main once per turn. Up to one of your cost 8 or lower characters without an on-play effect gains rush till the end of this turn. Now that does limit us a lot. There's not a ton of cards right now that are red without an on-play effect that are that 8 cost, you know, to try and get the most value out of it. Of course, you can look at your vanilla cards, but the main thing that makes this card good is that any when attacking effect gets instant use. The game is already kind of going at a point where, with so much removal from black decks, blue decks, any kind of freezing from green, there's a lot of ways to get rid of a character that's been played on your opponent's turn on your next turn. So you need to get almost instant value from a lot of your cards, especially if you're playing a big body. Because if you're dropping, for example, the 9 cost Zoro, a lot of decks will try and target that immediately to get rid of it, either freezing it, KOing it, bottom decking. A lot of these cards demand instant response. However, when attacking becomes a lot better with this, because you can use it same turn. Now we need to see some more high cost characters that could go with this. Again, a lot of high cost red characters right now are on play effects or just vanillas. There's not too many when attacking. I know Wapple, I think, from set 8 is one of the higher cost ones at like 6. So not a ton of variety right now, but I'm interested to see what cards we get that could really combo with this. I'm assuming that given this leader is being announced, that they'll have some support to go along with it. And of course, down the line, who knows what we'll get. Of course, it's sad to see that this card can't combo with the new Rayleigh Secret Rare from set 8, because his play is on play. But, you know, there could be some great cards down the line to combo with this. Next, we got just a bit of a comparison with some of the new full art rares that we're going to see with this collection, and just, it looks so amazing. It looks so amazing. Of course, let me know what card you're most excited about seeing. We've got a picture of some more of the cards. And again, just the artwork is looking amazing. It's been a long way since some of the earlier sets with just pictures from the manga or the anime as some of the card art. So I'm really, really loving some of the stuff we're seeing recently. Again, so many of these cards are just using the meta today. You know, we've got a lot of cards that are still meta heavy. You know, Shirahoshi, 10 cost Dofi, definitely a lot of use out of all these. I'm glad to see a lot of these cards are ones that are used heavily in the meta. Of course, Kuzan not super used, but I love the card. Again, just great choices, I feel like. You know, there's been a lot of reprints that we've seen from like a lot of like winter cards or just cards in general that don't see a ton of play in the current meta or just in general, that didn't really need them. So to see all of these cards, I think it's great. Again, for a lot of the new players that want to play some of these decks, these cards, again, you don't have to go out and buy these alt arts to play the deck, but the fact that these exist will mean that the base art of these cards might be a little bit cheaper. Now moving on to the 2nd anniversary, just taking a quick look at some of this stuff. Again, looks super amazing. I know a few people that were able to get the 1st anniversary set, and it's just top quality. I love it. The mat, great. The deck box, great. I'm very excited to see it. We've got some more 2nd anniversary stuff to look at. Some of the cards that you can see. That 9 cost Zoro is chef's kiss. I absolutely love it. Of course, we've got the Sanji already being a great card to get the Sabo, Kaya, A lot of these cards are just fantastic to see. Now moving on to even more news. This week has just been jam-packed with a lot of card releases, a lot of big updates and news. So very excited to see a set 9 leader. Lim. Green, purple, 4 life, 5k power, wisdom, Odyssey. So the effect. Your characters enter play rested. Activate main once per turn. You may rest 3 of your Dawn, set up to 1 of your Dawn from your Dawn deck as rested. Then play a cost 5 or lower Odyssey type character from your hand. So just a way to ramp and then play out a card. So obviously there's going to be some cards with the effects to restand themselves, but an interesting way to cheat out bodies and ramp. So not sure how this is going to go. We're going to have to see some interesting support for this. We already do have a couple of cards for support though. A 2-cost character with Lim. So 2 cost is 0k power, wisdom, Odyssey, counter plus 1000, a blocker. End of your turn, if you have 2 or more Odyssey type rested characters, then set this character as active. So being a blocker could be an interesting way to try to save some of your characters, because we know they're coming in rested, which leaves them open to swing in. You know, interesting. The fact that this character or this leader doesn't Dawn minus, but just resting Dawn, does help a little bit, and it makes it a little bit more interesting. Now we've got one other card released so far. Ado. Again, I haven't played the game. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. But green character, 4 cost, 5k power, ranged, Odyssey, counter plus 2000, so a 2k counter. Its effect is if you have 2 or more Odyssey type rested characters, this character gains 1k power. So 4 cost for 6k essentially. Being a 2k counter seems pretty good already. So again, gonna have to see some more support for this leader. It just got released, just got announced, still very early on. Interested to see what other support it gets. But that is a lot of the One Piece news that we've had this week in terms of card releases and updates with both the premium booster and the 2nd anniversary. A lot of stuff to look forward to. I'm very excited for some of these cards. I know there's always talk with how expensive this card game is to get into, how even with set 7, as we're going into it here in the West, we're seeing underprinting being talked about, a lot of stores getting a lot less product in general, so not able to sell boxes or host as many pre-release tournaments. Just a little bit harder to get our hands on some of the newer product in person. It is good to see some of these new sets bring reprints, bringing just more availability to some of these cards, and hopefully in turn making it a little bit easier for new players to get into the game, because that is what's going to help One Piece, the TCG, grow as a whole, in my opinion. There's more availability for anybody to try out the game. Seems good to me. But let me know what you think about some of these reprints, about the 2nd anniversary, about the premium booster, any cards that you're looking forward to collecting, or cards that you wish were in the set. I personally have a lot that I'm looking to pick up for my collection. Honestly, any of these I would be excited about pulling. So very much looking forward to this. Again, we're going to be seeing this premium booster release in Japan late July. So we'll see a lot of these cards in person in people's hands very soon. I wish we were seeing it a little bit sooner for us over here in the West, but hey, we'll have to wait a few months for that. In the meantime, we've got set 7 to look forward to. I'm very excited. Again, remember to subscribe, leave a like on the video. I'll be trying to open up some set 7 here on the channel if I can get my hands on it. And of course, again, let me know any cards you're excited for in either the 2nd anniversary or this premium booster down in the comments. And I hope to see you all very soon. Bye-bye.